Hello and welcome in to Shmokin' Hot Takes. Jordan Love, the Packers, and most importantly, the refs are on fire as they continue their 3-game win streak. In the epic clash of our homer picks, the Seahawks and Cowboys, the Hawks had their wings clipped. And we need to put some bubble wrap on quarterbacks because there are officially a third of teams playing with backups. Stay tuned for the NFL games recap, Week 14 power rankings and picks, and plenty of hot takes. Let's get smoking. Smoking.
Okay.
All right, CDubs. CDubs isn't doing the smoking.
Oh,
Welcome in.
Sorry, my bad.
What's going on?
My audio tweaked. My audio tweaked for a second. I was talking into it and nothing happened. Like I saw, I have our platform pulled up here, and I didn't see a green outline pop up, so that was like started panicking there. My bad.
No, it's all good.
I thought you were just saying a very dramatic pause, but it lasted.
Yeah, I was like, he's putting everybody on the edge of their seats, just making them wait because it was like, no, K-Dog's never come in second before, and then they're like,
True, I know.
what's happening?
It too. Yeah.
What's happening next? And then it's
Okay.
CDubs.
That was clown hour. My bad.
Oh my gosh, no, you're so good. So this is a first. Coop's out. He's on the he's on the weekly IR for the pod, down with who knows what. And we finally got back Tan-Dawg off of the returning off the IR, and he's been out for a couple of weeks. How does it feel to be back?
It feels great. I feel like I have so much to say, so much to respond to for the last couple episodes. I really wish Coop was on here, but we'll just keep like dragging some of these things out until we all have us together where we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm sure he said he listened, so he's been taking notes, ready to you're pulling out the receipts from, shit I might have said, Coop might have said a couple weeks ago. We'll get all of our. Here's the thing: is with the upcoming matches this week, because you guys got the Eagles, we got the Niners, so 2 big matchups. Maybe we'll have like the full, 3-week game. Tough schedule for both teams. We can talk about that, but
yeah,
I know it's a bummer we can't do a full deep dive of the boys and the Hawks. But you know what?
Yeah,
that's all right.
I was a little disappointed that you listed them. You listed that second in the intro. You talked about Jordan Love first for some reason. Not sure what that was all about.
Well, we had to give our Packers fans some love, which I don't know if we have any Packers fans, but because I just figured we barely have talked about the Packers, so I was like, let's bump them up.
That's
and
true.
Just given all the Chiefs drama, you got to throw that in there too. Especially with
they're on fire right now too.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 3-game win streak, taking out the Lions, taking out the Chiefs. Man,
yeah,
that's kind of crazy. It's kind of nutty. They're actually making a run for the NFC a little bit. Those wild cards.
Some might say they could even be a top 10 team. Some could say.
I think some could potentially agree. Oh, that's awesome. And then CDubs, thanks for joining in today, filling in for Coop. Always appreciate having you on here.
Of course.
And boys, we had a big, just to quickly not talk about the NFL for a second, big Dogs weekend. UW beating Oregon, claiming that number 2 spot.
There was never a doubt.
Honestly, never a doubt. Like, even once the game started and we kind of put up like our first 3 points, I was like, and then our defense came out and just shut out Oregon. I was like, I don't feel nervous about this game at all. Maybe there's a little bit of liquid courage also included in that, but
probably a little.
If that weird ghost PI, which I'm still gonna call that a ghost PI because I've rewatched the replay multiple times, but it's right at the end of the second half. Oregon's got the ball, and they throw an egregious pass interference call. When the official on the sideline who threw the flag was getting ready to signal incomplete, and then he like switches his mind, grabs his flag, and throws it out. So it totally bails him out. But I think if that doesn't happen, I think the score is way worse. The score being as close as it was does not reflect, in my opinion, how bad of a beatdown that was because we
No, I agree.
destroyed them for 3 quarters.
Yeah, they couldn't stop the pass game. They couldn't stop DJ hitting the low key MVP in my mind. He's just balling out, and yeah, our defense is just on fire.
Yeah, I feel like they disrespect for giving it to Penix. I mean, by all means, Penix for Heisman, but I mean, come on, game MVP. Let's be real.
Yeah, I agree. And then FSU, rip them.
Pain.
I feel bad. If you're an FSU fan, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Getting snubbed like that. Screw the committee.
It's my boy. No.
Oh man, it's sad. It's such a bummer. But before we jump in, let's just say make sure to go like, follow, subscribe on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Shmokin Hot Takes. And then I quickly want to talk about just the injury riddled week that we had. Good Lord. We lost.
Pain,
okay,
dude.
so I'm just going to quickly list off some people that were injured and either ruled out or might be out for longer. Kenny Pickett, Ramondre Stevenson, Amari Cooper, Christian Watson, Tank Dell, Tyler Higbee, Derek Carr, T-Law, Brian Robinson, Derrick Henry. Is there anything else? Anybody else to add? I don't think so.
Yeah, Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I was gonna
Kirk,
say Christian Kirk too.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like
he's Dunzo. I think they said.
You think Kirk is? I heard it was a core issue.
It's core muscle injury, but they said that earliest he could probably come back is the Super Bowl. So that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
Love
they're not
that
making
as
the
a
Super
Jags
Bowl.
fan. No, not anymore.
What about
T-Law?
how serious is T-Law? He's gonna be out a little while too, right?
So they said that's a high ankle sprain, which usually is like 3 weeks, I want to say. But they didn't for some reason they didn't rule him out for this week. But I think that's just gamesmanship because I don't think Doug Peterson actually wants to come to the conclusion that he has to start CJ Beathard in a National Football League game. So he's trying to cope by not ruling out Trevor yet. But it's done, man. It's over.
He's a former 49er star, is he not? He started
Was he one of them? Was he with Nick Mullins?
I think
when
so.
It was like it was him and Jimmy G. It was like Jimmy G, Nick Mullins, and CJ Beathard. 2020
was the last time he threw a touchdown pass, and it was for the 49ers. And he also has matching ass tattoos with George Kittle. Fun fact.
No, he doesn't. That's
he does.
Amazing. What is it? What's the tattoo of? Do we know?
It's the address of their party house in college because they both went to the University of Iowa.
That's quite something.
You knew if that's ass tat worthy, then you know many things went down there that are probably they probably cannot talk about.
No, he was George Kittle's quarterback in college. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
That's cool. Oh, how fun. Did they get the tattoos in college? That's what I want to know. I hope
they did. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, that's like a thing they recently did.
No, like 5 years after. No, there's a clip. I don't remember what documentary it was in, but yeah, George Kittle talks about it. How they were just like, it was like $50, and we said, screw it, let's go down and do it. And he talks about how Brian Hoyer's the one that like called them out on it. So that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyways.
Maybe we'll have to get a Shmokin Hot Takes one eventually, boys. If we ever blow up.
Yeah, I mean, if it's only $50.
Not opposed.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's get into our Shmokin Hot Takes recap quickly. So I'll just go through mine. So I was very off from last week. So I called for 1, the Broncos winning. 2, Javonte Williams with 200 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. Well, he had 0 touchdowns. He had, I want to say, he had 46 yards on the ground, and he had 24 in the air. So I did not even make it halfway. I wouldn't even say I made it a quarter of the way to my take. So it is what it is.
Now, I wrote it down. You also had CJ Stroud.
Oh, I also CJ Stroud a pick and a fumble. That one, did he throw a pick? Nope, no picks.
He did have a fumble.
He had a fumble, not fumble lost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, so I basically whiffed the whole hot take. But speaking of whiffs, K-Dog.
Well, first, I was gonna say I think you guys mentioned this last week or the week before, but is your strategy now just to like say just a bunch of little things, just hoping you'll hit one,
No,
or would it
because
only hit if you got all of those?
no, it's all or nothing.
Okay,
That's the way
okay.
I roll.
So you're just
I'm
making it
not
harder.
taking the easy out.
You're just making it harder on yourself. You just keep
Yeah,
adding stuff on.
well, I was just expecting a really big day from Javante, and he just really let
Yeah.
me down. I will say my new Shmokin take for this week is it's still a challenging one to hit, but it's much more. I brought it back. Where there's only like one thing needs to happen. So
Yeah.
taking a step back. Yeah, Kid, you want to tell the people? We already teased it a little bit, I think, but
Yeah. Mine obviously did not hit this week when I predicted that the Seahawks would get shut out against the Cowboys. Um, I'll admit, like I knew I knew you guys would give me shit about this, obviously. I thought it was very last minute. It was crunch time, and I just thought of something. I was like, what would be the best thing that, like, if I hit it, like, they would never be able to say anything. Like, if I said this, I don't think it would ever be topped if it actually happened. But of course, the opposite happened. I mean, the Seahawks scored 35 points, and it became the fifth game in NFL history with no punts. So I couldn't have been more wrong. I just thought the Cowboys defense would kind of shut down the Seahawks offense. They were struggling before that, and it was just an absolute shootout, which, yeah, I did not see coming at all.
yeah, we'll get into it more in just a second. Do you remember? I don't have Coops written down. I don't remember what his was. Do you have it written down?
I've got his. He was actually the closest of all of us. So he predicted. I liked his. I feel like he was creative with this. He predicted that there would be a tied game this past week.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh.
And
He's
he even
close.
called out, yeah, he even called out a couple in particular. The first one that he said was actually probably the one that got closest to it when he said the Colts and Titans. I guess you could
Yeah.
argue the Jaguars. Jaguars, Bengals also got very close. He didn't mention that, but Colts and Titans went to overtime. I think the Colts won by 3. But there was a chance that it could be tied there. Although maybe you'd expect that they'd go for the win no matter what. I think the Titans hit a field goal in their first possession, but or is that right?
Yeah, no, you got it. You got it.
Yeah. Okay. And then the Falcons Jets, he predicted would be a tie. It was a close game. It was 13-8.
What a gross game.
And then he said the Jets would score 2 defensive touchdowns, which they did not score the entire Jets
negative
team.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I think they got a safety. It was I think they got 8, and one of those, 2 of those points were from a safety. So
They did, yeah.
Yep.
No touchdown from the Jets.
A lot of gross games this past week. So many gross games. Which, yeah, let's just jump into it. We're not going to talk about those gross games right away. We're going to talk first about what, in my opinion, was the matchup of the week: the Seahawks and the Cowboys.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
As K-Dawg alluded to, the boys overcame the Hawks 41-35 in, I guess, not the defensive matchup he was thinking that the Cowboys would smoke us with, but rather just, God, an offensive showdown. I'll just say my Seahawks piece first real quick. So one, our offensive line, I think, played a lot better than they had in the last few weeks, and it, I think, was really because we got Abe Lucas back, who just seems to be like the centerpiece of our O-line. We're not rolling out as frequently Jason Peters' 41-year-old ass, which I think is a huge upgrade. And then that just allowed, I mean, Gino just had, I think, a lot more time than what he's been working with, and also just got the ball out quicker. And so that really, I think, just opened up our offense well. I mean, he just seemed like he had it, kind of was locked in, and he was throwing some dimes, man. He was throwing some absolute bullets, like that first. Sure, K-Dawg. First, K-Dawg, were you watching the game live?
I watched some of it live,
Okay.
but then I watched the recording though.
Dude, that bullet that he threw to DK for that first touchdown.
Oh, I know.
Where he just broke out. He was like, that was. I think he just lasered that in. I feel like I've never seen Gino throw a pass so fast. And it just seemed like he was doing that a lot more this game, where he's just kind of lasering it in, like even to the point where like Lockett had a drop on what would have been a crucial first down. Just like hit him off the hands, I think. And I mean, honestly, like this was a much bigger comeback and just better game overall than I kind of thought we would have compared to last week when we got absolutely obliterated by the Niners. So I'll take this as I'm taking this as a win, honestly, for the Hawks that we were able to keep up with the boys. I am a little disappointed because we kept close, and I honestly thought we could win at one point, and then the fact that we lost is a bummer. But overall, I'm taking this as a net positive, even though I would have loved to rub it in your face, K-Dog, that we just took you guys down and called you frauds and whatever and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
So.
it was pretty scary there for a while. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot closer than I thought. I mean, so I'll give you guys. I mean, you guys chose him, of course, last week, but
Yeah,
it was.
no, we did.
Yeah, I didn't really expect it to be close. Maybe I just got too cocky, but give credit to the Seahawks. I mean, Geno Smith, I agree. Like he played great. Obviously, DK had 3 touchdowns. Just had a ridiculous day. Cowboys just could not match up with him, and then like Geno was just so accurate getting the ball to him and other receivers. I'm surprised you didn't mention anything about the penalties. I mean, I was just I don't know if that was just hard to watch.
I burned them out of my mind, personally.
Each team was pretty even. That the Seahawks had 10 for 130 yards, and the Cowboys had 9 penalties for 127. So it's almost like dead even. But it's just like it just makes it hard to watch. It makes it kind of unenjoyable. It felt like after every play. And I know there were a couple questionable ones certain people may have been complaining about towards the end, but I will still take it. I mean, Dak had an amazing day. CD, amazing day. I wish Coop was here because I want to say he pulled out this very, very misleading stat that I cannot have our audience be mistaken about. He was saying that the Cowboys they have 25 losses on Thursday and the Seahawks have 8. So the Seahawks get their 9th loss, but that is very skewed due to the Cowboys playing on Thursday every single year for like 50 years. But
damn, you really are bringing receipts.
Yeah, I heard that. He knows it too. He knows it. He said something about it. You dig too much into it. It's
sometimes you gotta pick and choose.
You can tell a story with your stats for sure. Anyway, yeah, good game. I mean the Seahawks. I don't know what happened to them. They were 6-3.
Well, we ran into the Niners. Yeah.
I mean, I thought they were a lock for the playoffs. We talked about, they're going into their schedule, their tough part of their schedule. We're gonna figure out who they are, and yeah, they're in deep trouble right now. The next 2 games are very tough too. So.
Also, I just want to mention your boy Daron Bland.
So that's what I was going to talk about. Yeah,
he got cooked, K-Dog.
He did.
He was getting obliterated. Everybody was beasting him.
He did get kind of I mean, he gave up a lot of yards. I think they said he gave up the most yards in a half of any player in like a few years, or maybe it was just that season.
In NFL history, maybe.
Not NFL. No.
Put that in the Hall of Fame.
But like part of it, I mean, obviously DK had like 75 on him on one play, and then it's like yes, he got beat obviously, but it's also like, I mean, it's kind of him on a guy like DK. It's not a very good matchup, and then you have Geno getting him the ball right only where he can get it. So I mean, I don't think he got like. I think it's part of that, but yeah, not a great game. But you know what? I don't really care. He scored 30 points for us.
He got his pick too. He got his pick of the game.
Yeah, and he got his pick, which
I will give him that.
I think the Cowboys actually went for it on 4th down and turned the ball over right back, so it didn't end up really mattering. But
yeah,
at least he's stuffing his stats a little bit. Yeah.
CDubs, you got anything you want to say on this one?
No, I got there. All right, or I was out and about working, so I didn't get there until the end of the 4th quarter. So I saw I was walking into my house when Ferguson scored the go-ahead touchdown at the end. But the only thing I have is that the Hawks missed conversion on the last 4th down play. That was a designed play to DJ Dallas, and that is quite possibly one of the worst calls I have ever seen an offensive coordinator make. Like I don't know what is going on through his head to be like, hey, I have an idea, guys. Let's not block Micah Parsons. Have DJ Dallas run kind of in front of him. and then throw the ball to DJ. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like that. But yeah, that's all I would say is that I don't know why that's a design play, but again, another strike, another demerit to Shane Waldron's resume.
Oh my god, yeah, I totally forgot about that play. It's just like I thought it was just a breakdown of the system and the fact that
that's what I thought too. That's what I thought too. And then Gino in the post game presser is just like, no, that was like a design play. Excuse me, bro. You should have just not said that. You should have just said that. It just went wrong. Like, oh shoot, whatever.
Oh,
but to say that was a design play,
I didn't hear about
like,
that. I didn't hear that. Yeah, that was ugly for sure.
Brutal.
And then Jamal Adams getting beat on that Ferguson touchdown.
Oh my god! I don't want to talk about Jamal Adams.
He just was lost. He just was lost out there.
And now he's complaining on Twitter too, which is he like called out some random reporter and then started like tweeting about him and his wife and calling his wife ugly and just like ugh, not good, or his girlfriend. I don't know. Jamal Adams. I don't think anyone on the Hawks really wants to talk about Jamal Adams.
No, we need to get rid of him in the offseason.
We're tired of him, and we gave away 2 firsts for him.
We have so much money tied up in our safeties that are getting old, and like Quandre is cool and everything, but I don't know. There's too much money tied up in old people. They gotta just get rid of them and restart. I think in the secondary for at least the safeties.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. All right, let's get into. Honestly, there's actually kind of a good few games that were interesting. Let's just talk about the Broncos Texans really quick. So the Texans overcame the Broncos 22-17, and I mean this is like the team of like the two hotness, like 2 teams just straight hotness. Stroud, I think, still is kind of proven that he should be in the MVP. You guys think Stroud's still kind of an MVP candidate as a rookie?
No, I think he's out now.
I agree. He cooled off quite a bit. I actually wrote down a stat. Like after his it was 4 or 5 weeks ago against the Bengals, he had his 5 touchdown game, and ever since in the 4 games since then, he only has 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So he's cooled off quite a bit. Even though the Texans are, they keep winning, but I would say he's out.
You know what's crazy is I didn't even realize this until I just saw the stat. Nico Collins put up almost 75% of CJ Stroud's total yards. Nico Collins at 191 yards through the air.
Yeah, dude. No, I don't even. Did they even have someone else over 40 yards? I'm pulling up the game.
Brevin Jordan, 64 yards.
Oh. Right, everyone's
maybe
favorite.
A waiver wire pick up.
Yeah,
I think he was the fill-in for Schultz. I don't know what Schultz's status is, if he'll be back next week. Yeah, but pretty much no one else really like did much. I mean, it's kind of weird now with like Pierce and Singletary. Now they're like splitting, right? So like even for like fantasy sakes, like it's kind of hard to have either one. I guess Pierce is the one you want, but still, even then, it's not. He's not getting a full load by himself. And yeah, I mean, I think it was just like an overall pretty like decent game. The Broncos offense I thought was surprisingly kind of quiet. I don't know about you guys if you thought that. I mean, Russell Wilson threw 3 picks. So I mean, that's not
one of those was crazy too. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the one that Stingley made, he came out of nowhere and just snagged it. It was a great play. But yeah, I don't know. I think I said it before, but I can't remember if it was on the pod 2 weeks ago or if it was on the locks. But sometimes, like Russ, it looks like their offense is just kind of like chuck it up, and Sutton's down there somewhere. And I think that was even kind of the interception at the end of the game in this one too, is he just kind of like chucked it up into the end zone. And it was picked. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of it is just like Russ's magic, and that's just kind of like what he did on the Hawks for so many years.
Yeah.
He just lob it up there and someone would happen to be there. But I mean, everything comes back to earth eventually. Like you have those hot streaks, and not everyone can be the mid '90s Dolphins or whatever team went undefeated. So you're gonna have those games where you come back to earth. But I still would say the Broncos have a pretty good shot at making the playoffs. Which can't imagine saying that like 3 weeks or 4
I was
weeks
just
ago,
gonna say, crazy to say that. Crazy to say that. I mean, Lionsfan42069 was pretty ecstatic last week about the Broncos this game. I think he called for I can't remember if he said it was a blowout or just a win.
I was gonna say I feel like what I was gonna bring up is this could be the curse of Broncos fan
Oh no.
42069 coming on the pod. His team wins 5 in a row. He comes on the pod, and what do? They lose like this the next week. So I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna want to come back here after that.
Wasn't there like a stat with like all those QBs that went on the Manning cast? Like for the first like 4 or 5 of them that went on, they all lost their next game.
Yeah, I kind of remember something like that. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a.
Could be.
We're gonna stop. People are gonna not want to come on Shmokin Hot Takes anymore if this happens. We have a guest coming on later, a little teaser, and we'll see. I guess if it happens next week to their team too. All right, let's talk about Dolphins Commanders. So the Dolphins absolutely obliterated the Commanders 45-15, as we all kind of expected. Tyreek Hill had a monster day, 157-2. Achane came back, 73-2. I mean, 2 was balling out. I mean, Dolphins just dolphin. They just beat the bad teams.
Yeah,
which is just makes these games really unfun.
The only thing I would, they do. The only thing I would note is Achane got, I think, almost all of his touches. I think 16 of his 17 carries came in the second half, and Mostert only got 1 carry in the second half. So I don't know if they were planning on bringing Achane on along slowly, and then it was just a blowout, and they're like, okay, let's just rest up Mostert, or what happened there. But Miami just torched them. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think the Commanders are going to win a game the rest of the season. This team looks so broken. They just look like they gave up. And honestly, if I played for the Washington Commanders, I would give up too.
Yeah, they're going to have to clean house. I mean, Ron Rivera, he's got to get fired after this year.
Oh, dude, he's gone. He's super gone.
It's been way too. He's been there a while, but it's just he hasn't been able to do anything with them. Yeah, the Dolphins just kind of flexed on him. I mean, everyone was. Tyreek had a crazy day. Should be up there for MVP. Everyone keeps talking about that, but I think Brock Purdy is currently the favorite.
No, he's not. Is he really?
He is.
I think he is.
He's the favorite.
Just that quarterback bias. I mean, Tyreek is just having this is a crazy year, and if you want to talk about the definition of that award, I mean, he's absolutely like so valuable to that team. I think they'd be a lot different without him. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same old Dolphins. I'm still not a believer. Beat up on the Commanders, not too impressive.
No, I'm not either.
Yeah.
Only other note I would mention is Terry McLaurin. No catches.
I was gonna say, yeah. Oh, dude. So I in my sleeper league with my high school buddies, I had a choice on Thursday, and it was either to start DK Metcalf or Terry McLaurin.
Oh,
guess who I played? Guess who I played? Yeah, Terry McLaurin. I still put up 160 points, so it's okay.
Did you win at least?
I did win.
Wow.
I did win, but
okay.
I would have put up near 200 if I started DK. And this is just a normal redraft league. But I was rightfully memed on by all of the group chat and more. Yeah, bad. So it is what it is. We move forward, and now
it sucks that you had to. It sucks that you had to like sit with that for a few days too, because DK plays really on Thursday, and you just know you fucked up. You just had to.
Yeah, everyone was clowning. It's funny because people were clowning on me for starting Debo over DK, not Terry over DK, and then Debo actually did better than DK.
Yeah,
he did.
That worked out. That worked out nicely.
Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns too, didn't he?
Yeah, let's just jump into that one. So 49ers Eagles. This makes me feel less bad about the Seahawks loss on Thanksgiving. What was this? 42-19 in an absolute blowout of the Eagles.
This was a beatdown. This was a beatdown.
This was outrageous how bad the Eagles got destroyed. I mean, it just felt like everything the Niners did on offense was just like unstoppable. And I mean, this was the rematch of last year. And I know both teams were like, there's all this drama, we're going to, talking shit back and forth. And then, yeah, I mean, good Lord, the Niners look just absolutely horrifying. I think I saw a stat where it was like the Niners when Brock Purdy, I think it was McCaffrey and Debo were all playing at the same time and finished the game. They're like 15-16 and or
yeah,
or something like that, which is just like absolutely ridiculous how good they are.
San Francisco also had -6 yards of offense after the first quarter. And
Did they really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, they were doing nothing. And so I was driving back from an event with a 49ers fan, and he was like freaking out. He's like, "Oh my gosh, like this is unacceptable. Like this can't happen." And then flipped a switch, and it just completely like Philly's luck completely ran out in this one, I think. Either that or they got exposed. But either way, like it was ugly to watch. Every time San Fran touched the ball after the first quarter, they were just ripping off plays. Like I don't even think they probably didn't even have a negative play after the first quarter, to be honest. Like every play was, and it wasn't like they were bombing it deep either. They were just running like little screens, and people were taking it 20 yards, 30 yards, 10 yards. It was crazy to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw this coming, though, right? Like, oh, go ahead, K-Dog.
Well, I was gonna say we all picked the Eagles, so I don't know if we did see it coming, but
no, it's fair.
I was gonna say
I'm really making me eat my words there.
I was gonna echo off. I hear what you're saying. I was gonna echo off of CDubs with that slow start. I was gonna bring that up too. I mean, I think the 49ers went 3 and out their first 3 drives. On the flip side, the Eagles, their first 2 drives were just these huge, like 75-yard drives, but they only got field goals. Like they were up after all that. After the first quarter, they're up 6-0 after dominating the first quarter, and you had to feel that like that was going to come back to bite them. And then the 49ers answer back, go up 7-6, and never look back. So I don't know. I was saying like people were talking how like the Eagles just have been exhausted. Like they've had so many tough games in a row that they just didn't have it in them in this game. I don't know. I think the Eagles, although they still have the best record in the NFL, but I looked, so 7 out of their 10 wins are by 1 score. I mean, there's definitely an element of luck to that. I don't know. They just don't feel like they did last year, and I think it's their defense. They're just like their defense is just not very good. They're bottom half of the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, their secondary gets exposed on a weekly basis. And even on offense in this one, like Hurts had at least 8 seconds in the pocket on every throw, and just no one was open. Like I could have literally, if I was cooking like a steak, I could go stand up, go flip that thing multiple times, come back, and Hurts still wouldn't have thrown the ball. And then he would chuck it like maybe he'd either check down or he would just throw it into triple coverage. Like truly, the Philly offense stunk. They stunk it up this game.
Yeah, they couldn't get the run going at all either. And it's like
no.
Which I guess you're not going to run the ball. I guess you're not going to run the ball when you're down so much, but like
even like their first couple drives, though, I feel like they didn't even really try to run. They kind of came out to pass. It felt like, and they were having.
Did you guys see that hit? Did you guys see that hit on Swift on the check down?
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly.
Yeah. That was a huge hit.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. On the 49ers side, if you're a 49ers fan, you're feeling great. Because they just, I mean, the other 2 top teams in the NFC, the Eagles, the Cowboys, you could argue the Lions, but the Eagles and Cowboys, they scored 42 points on each of them, blew them out. They're just like clearly, I mean, that's all your competition is to get to the Super Bowl. So you got to feel great as a 49ers fan. It just feels like when they're like on and they're playing well, everybody's healthy, that they're just on another level.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they're blowing out, like they blew out the Eagles. I mean, they blew out the Cowboys earlier in the season, like blew out the Hawks. Probably gonna blow out the Hawks again. Like it's just like it's just unstoppable, man. It's truly insane. And like when they did go on that 3-game span, I think we had talked about it where can we really attribute these losses just to Debo? But it kind of almost seems like you can attribute like missing Debo just because of how much variety he brings that offense. So. We even saw Sam Darnold come into the game to relieve Brock Purdy, so congrats to Sam Darnold. And speaking of backups, let's jump into last night's game. So we had the Bengals and the Jaguars. 34-31. Bengals win in overtime with our boy Jake Browning. CDubs, we were so early. We were 1 week early on our Shmokin hot take.
Yep, we weren't wrong. We were just early.
-2 tutties.
Yeah.
Minus 2 tutties. But
we always knew he had it in him.
we had faith in Browning. It was actually when I first turned this game on, and I looked at the stat line before I turned the game on. It was just only after the first Bengals drive, and I was like, "Oh, Jake Browning's 4 for 4," and I looked at his yards. And he had like 7 yards, and I turned the game on, and they have the ball back, and he's just continuing to throw, just like just passes to the side, and it's just like a throw over to Chase and just do whatever he can. I was like, "There's no way this is just gonna be the whole game," and it kind of was, and then after a while, it started to really like pop off, and I was like, "This is kind of the Jake Browning I remember, like getting these sneaky routes." And honestly, Jamar Chase like put up 149 yards and a tutty, 11 catches. If you have him in PPR, man, you're having a great day. I mean, in normal half point PPR, you're having a great day too. But it's kind of crazy that they were able to succeed under Browning, like just not turn over the ball, kind of just do the small things and win the game.
It seemed like Zach Taylor, the coach of the Bengals, like the game plan at first was to just do short, safe, conservative passes, which honestly, nothing pisses me off more in the NFL than when a backup comes in and everyone gets suddenly conservative with their play calling. Like, bro, this guy, I understand you don't necessarily want him to just chuck it deep every play or like, throw it up, but this person, whoever the backup is probably capable and competent at it. Like, they may not, obviously they're not as good, but like, let them run the offense. They can do a good job. Like, that's what it just looked like. They're trying to scheme up all these trick plays, trying to do these little one yard bubble things and everything. And then Zach Taylor's like, you know what? Let me take the middle school play calling gloves off here. Let me realize that this guy actually knows what he's doing and has an arm, and let me go see if he can go throw the ball. And look what happened. The dude, Browning, throws for 350. I mean, yeah,
I totally agree. I feel like too many coaches with a backup quarterback, they kind of like play to lose. They play so conservatively. And I can't believe how good Jake Browning did. I did not see that coming. I know you guys did talk about it a couple weeks ago with your predictions, but with the trick plays too. I mean, they did try a couple with the wide receivers, and it was just disastrous. Jamar Chase threw one pass for a -7 yards, and Tyler Boyd threw one pass, and it was a horrible interception. Funny that they tried to do a little something, and it just give it to Jake Browning. We don't need this.
I got nervous for when Jamar Chase threw it to Jake Browning. I got nervous that he was gonna get killed. I was like, he is not meant. The Jake Browning I know is not meant for that.
No, not the slightest.
Oh, do the Bengals have a chance?
I was just gonna ask that. Can they? Yeah, do you guys think they can sneak into the playoffs?
Dude, everything is so tight in the AFC. I don't know if they have enough firepower. Like this, like for all we know, this could be like the highlight of Jake Browning's career was last night's game, and like the grass may never get greener. They have a great matchup. Actually, we have an Apple Cup rematch this week between him and Gardner Minshew, if you could believe that. And the Colts are ahead of them by a game in the same. So I think this week will really tell. If the Bengals don't manage to scrape out a dub, I think they'll probably fall a little short of the playoffs. But
yeah, I was looking at their schedule run for the next 5 or so weeks. So yeah, they like CDubs said, they have the Colts, and they have the Vikings, then they have the Steelers,
some winnable
and
games.
then the Chiefs following that, and then week 18 they wrap up with the Browns. I mean, they're playing a lot of teams with like backup QBs, but
yeah,
it's
compared to some other teams, that's kind of tough.
Yeah, it's not a cakewalk by any means.
Yeah.
No.
It's just, this game is just crazy because like going into it, you have the Jaguars who are hot, looking at the #1 seed. Then you have the Bengals, everyone's counting them out, and then you walk out of the game and the script is not completely flipped, but like all of a sudden we're like considering being higher on the Bengals, and we're just done with the Jaguars. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, right.
I'm done with the Jaguars.
The Jaguars they'll still make the playoffs, right? But do we just think that
dude,
not necessarily?
I don't think so,
not necessarily.
Dude.
They're 8-4. You guys think they're done?
Bro.
Way.
If Trevor's out for 3 to 4 weeks, and everyone that comes back from high ankle sprains are not the same for the rest of the season. Saquon a couple years ago did not look. I mean, granted, usually these injuries happen with running backs, so I don't know what the impact's going to be on a quarterback. But Saquon didn't look good when he had his ankle sprain his sophomore season. Eckler had a high ankle sprain this season. That dude fell off a cliff the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks of the season. Yeah. So I don't know. We lose Christian Kirk too, which means there goes Calvin Ridley, because apparently he only produces when you got 3 wide receivers. Who knows? He's Houdini. He's literally Houdini out here, man. I don't get it. And of course, Beathard comes in, lobs one up for 40-something yards. He catches it. Does it count? No. The right tackle wants to hold. So I'm very nervous as a Jags fan. I'm very scared that we shot our wad and it could be over. The only saving grace is that Tank Dell goes down for Houston. Hate to see it, but
yeah,
you need all the luck you can get at this stage. So the AFC is truly wide open.
It's a hot mess, man. Yeah, the last 2 games the Jags finished with the Panthers and the Texans, which
all right.
The Texans
Panthers,
the Texans maybe could get, or not the Texans, sorry, the Titans. And the Titans could maybe give them a run for their money.
Always a tough game.
Yeah, that is always a weird one.
Oh, wait, did you say, I don't know if you said it already, don't the Jaguars and Texans play the last week?
The Jaguars and Titans play the last week.
Oh, Jaguars and Titans.
Yeah, they already played the Texans twice.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that would be the perfect last game. Let's do that.
As the forever pessimist Jags fan, and then we can move on here. This was the first Monday Night Football game Jacksonville has hosted in 11 years. So honestly, I shouldn't have expected us to win. I should have just known that something bad was going to happen. Everyone was going to die on the team, and yeah, look what happened.
Yeah, jeez. I would have loved to see what. Yeah, the Bengals covered a 10-point spread too. Good Lord, some people probably lost some money on that game. All right, Chiefs Packers, and kind of the refs win this game, 27-19. Dude, this was the last drive of this game was such a hot mess. First, you had Mahomes. This pisses me off so much when Mahomes does this, where he runs to the very edge of the sideline, and then someone smokes him because he's still in bounds, and then they call it a roughing or unnecessary roughness or any BS flag. Drives me nuts. And then Mahomes gets a 40-yard play on what should be a normal 15, 20, 25-yard play. Drives me crazy that he does that.
Seems to happen fairly frequently.
Yeah, ridiculous. And then what I would like to believe is a makeup call. The PI that
which one? The first one or the Hail Mary one?
No, the first one. I didn't even talk about. Yeah, not that one. The first one, which was that the MVS? I can't remember who he was throwing to.
Yeah, it was the MVS.
To MVS, which was just I just want to believe that's a makeup call. I don't know. And then the other play where, who made the catch? Was it maybe this was also MVS? And then they drag the Packers defender, drags him back into the sideline, out of bounds. But in my understanding of the rules, that should be the clock should continue to run if they go out of bounds backwards.
Yeah, and they ruled him out. That was kind of sus.
And they ruled him out, and then stopped the clock. And then the final play where Travis Kelce just got smoked in the end zone, which I don't know. I'd be curious to hear your guys' opinion, because in my mind, for a Hail Mary, it has to be incredibly egregious for there to be PI. Because
that's what I was gonna say. How many Hail Mary PIs do we ever actually see? Never.
I feel like it's kind of an unwritten rule not to call it on a Hail Mary. But,
yeah, because to think about the stakes, right? You're not throwing a Hail Mary in a blowout, right? And so if you call it PI, you're kind of just picking the winner right there at that point.
Yeah, it's too big of a penalty. It's too much. Go ahead.
I will say, because they get the ball at the 1. I will say the thing I hated most about it, even we can talk about the calls all day long. For the first one, I will say the ball has to be catchable. It was going to MVS. We all know he wasn't going to catch it. So technically, the ball wasn't catchable.
Oh no! Poor MVS.
Yeah,
but he had to catch it straight there. But the thing I hated was the TV coverage, bro. They literally talked about that about the Travis Kelce one. I feel like they talked about it so much at the end.
So long.
It just felt like it was like Taylor Swift fan service was what it was. Like, oh, well, they should have thrown a flag. T Swift fans, please don't turn off the coverage so our ratings stay high. Like, no, dude, shut up. Talk about the Packers winning the game, man. Don't make it seem like this one be all end all thing. Like, was it like, no, dude, what about the Packers being aggressive, kind of like what we just talked about with coaches and backup quarterbacks? Like, no, how about we applaud Matt LaFleur for saying, hey, we're not just gonna run with AJ Dillon 3 times in a row and then punt the ball back with a minute left. Oh, I hope Mahomes doesn't have a game-winning drive. Like, we all know that's gonna happen. No, applaud LaFleur for actually throwing the ball and being aggressive and saying, no, let's get points. Like, forget just running it and doing this conventional BS wisdom. Like, let's try to win the game. Let's try to make it so that it doesn't matter if Mahomes and those guys get the ball back. So, I don't know. I probably got way more fired up about that than most people, but I was just like, dude, stop replaying this stupid Travis Kelce crap. Like, you're just pandering to all the Taylor Swift fans.
Yeah, because I think that's the first game. That's the first game where Taylor Swift was at where they lost, I think, right?
It is.
So that's probably what they were like. What are we gonna do? Like, all these people are never gonna tune in again. The Chiefs, bunch of losers. I don't know. Just good riddance, honestly. If they don't, I was watching with my girlfriend, and she's like, basically every 5 minutes, she's like, "Where's Taylor Swift? Where's Taylor Swift?" Because I don't think they showed her like much at all.
No.
And she was like, "I'm just watching this game for the Taylor Swift." And my girlfriend is like she's a big football fan, so she doesn't, she wants to see Taylor Swift too, but she also likes watching the game. She's like, "Where is she?" And she even was like surfing Twitter, couldn't find pictures of her, and I was like, "Thank God." I think they're learning, but still, the fact at the end there that they had to keep showing it, I'm surprised they weren't cutting to Taylor Swift every time after like Kelce got mauled to like show her reaction. Like, see what
she's falling to her knees, in the Lambo booth. Like, no.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. K-Dog, did you have any thoughts on the Packers this game? I mean, with
on the Packers, I had one thing. I feel like we've talked so much about the Chiefs, but I just had one more thing to say. The Chiefs just need to stop throwing to MVS at the end of a game. I mean, we already talked about it with the no pass interference, but it was against against the Eagles, where he's the one who dropped that one on the last drive as well that lost in that game. So they need to give up on that guy. With the Packers, yeah, I mean, I can't believe it, honestly. I mean, they just look like a completely different team. I thought they were a bottom team in the league, and now they're 6-6. They've won 3 in a row. They beat good teams. Jordan Love looks great, and looks like I think I read today that they have the easiest remaining schedule.
Do they
for the rest of the year? So it's looking like the playoffs for them if they can keep this up.
Yeah, they might. Because last year was it. Who got the dub at the end of the season last year that pushed the Seahawks into the wild card?
It was the Lions. The Lions beat them in Lambeau.
Yeah. So I'm seeing some little Packers revenge. Maybe they're not letting the Hawks in at least. They're definitely a sneaky wild card right now. I mean, dude, I will be curious to see with Christian Watson because that was kind of a scary injury where he was running down the sideline, just got the first down, and it looked like I thought he was pulling up to stop, like keep the clock running. And then did the opposite, stopped the clock because he got hurt. But he had a monster day. He had that last touchdown he got.
Oh, he mossed that guy.
Yeah, that was an amazing catch. It was honestly like, we love using the word breakout. I won't call it a breakout, but I mean, he was balling out at the end of that game, or just throughout that game in general.
As someone who highly drafted Christian Watson, where was this the last 12 weeks, bro?
Because didn't he do it like the last 3 weeks?
The help, man.
The last 3 weeks of last year, or last year though.
Yeah,
like he had a really big breakout. Like he was kind of a championship winner, wasn't he? Last year,
he was
at the end of the season, and then now he kind of quieted off, and now he's like, maybe he's just that end of season guy. He's just doing it for the championship. But you're not making the championship with him.
Thanks for costing me fantasy leagues, Christian Watson.
You're not gonna make it. Speaking of fantasy, I was in a really close game. My opponent was up by like, I want to say 9 or so, but then they had the Chiefs defense, right? And so they kept losing points and points because the Packers kept scoring, and it eventually got to a point where I was ahead by 1 point, or a little less than 1 point. and all I needed was the Chiefs to not stack Jordan Love for my opponent to pull head. And then at the end of the very last play that the Packers had on offense, Jordan Love falls to the ground to keep the clock running, which gives my opponent the extra point for the sack
Pain.
to win. And I lost by like point, I want to say 3 or something like that.
Wow, that's crazy.
I was so mad. Oh, sometimes fantasy, man, so fun. But
That's like an all-time bad loss. That's
yeah,
crazy.
that's just a bad beat. That's what I'll call that.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of, we were talking about the Lions. So let's jump into it. They won in a unnecessarily close game, 33-28 over the Saints. This is kind of wild because the Lions jumped up 21-0, and then I didn't watch this game all that closely, but I was like, what Lions, what are we doing here? Letting the Saints come back so much. I mean, Derek Carr, unfortunately, injured in this one. But Olave had a big day, 119 yards. Kamara had a big day, 58 yards. Taysom Hill, good lord, 59 yards and a tutty.
I hate Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill just needs to be banned from fantasy, in my opinion. Or just
he's so
like
a stupid player, dude.
Like the fact that you can slot him in a tight end or any of that crap just makes me so nervous.
Yeah.
And Derek Carr, was that a concussion? Do we know?
Dude, I don't know, but I hope he's out for the season because I'm so tired of watching this dude not throw the ball to Chris Olave.
The king of checkdowns.
And Jameis will chuck it up all day long. He doesn't care. So Derek Carr, rest up, brother. You can take 4 weeks off. It's all good. No rush. Don't come back in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean I don't know if they're going to be keeping him. I mean, I agree. I wish they would keep him down, but I mean, the Saints are kind of still in the playoff hunt. I mean, they're only like a game back.
Anyone in the NFC South outside of the Panthers is in the playoff hunt. So
yeah, even as a wild card, there's a world where you have 2 NFC South teams in the playoffs, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, gross! Could you imagine?
Gross.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if we've talked about this much on the pod, but I'm kind of the point where I think the Lions might be frauds.
That's a hot take. All right, explain. Let's hear it.
You know, I might be a little off on this. I feel like I said this earlier about the Dolphins too. Lions just aren't very impressive to me lately. I mean, in their past 4 games, they are 3-1, but all 3 of those wins have been 1-score wins against not very good teams. You know, they're not really blowing anybody out. They lost to the Packers in that time. Maybe the Packers are better than we think. I don't know, but I think we've talked about on this pod how they have a good defense. They don't have a good defense.
Like it so much.
They
I
have
agree.
a number 23 defense in the league in points allowed. I still think they have a great offense, great run game, but they just don't seem. They're obviously going to make the playoffs. They're going to win the division, but I think the ceiling for them is, you know, a wild card playoff win. I don't see them competing with the Eagles or 49ers. Or if they do play the Cowboys in a month, I'm excited for that one to see how they measure up.
You know, our guest, when our guest comes on later, I'm going to open up with that quote from you. The Lions are frauds.
Yeah, I thought it was a good time to bring it up. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'll have a guest on. Lionsfan42069. That's just what we're going to start calling all the people that come on. It's just their team name, Fan42069. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of odd seeing Laporta with 140 yards and being like the leading receiver on the Lions. But yeah, I kind of agree that they're just not the same team we saw earlier on in the season that beat the Chiefs or put on these really good games against other teams. And yeah, defense is like the biggest key for me that I would love to see the Lions step up with, but we'll see. They have a couple bigger games coming up, so we'll see what they can do. All right, let's blast through some of these kind of these snoozers. So the Colts Titans 31-28. This game went into overtime too. Colts got the dub. Gardner Minshew, best backup in the league, maybe, other than Jake Browning, of course.
Dude, the Colts are 7-5. How'd that happen?
I know. Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense.
They're 5-1 on the road. How is that even possible, dude? That's crazy.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. I mean, there's a world where they win the division now too. They could pull ahead of the Texans.
Where are
They
they right
very
now?
well could.
Are they
They're
one behind the
second.
Texans? One behind?
No, they're one. They're one
I guess
behind
they're
Jacksonville.
tied.
Well, they're tied with
and
the
then
Texans.
with
Yeah,
the
one behind the
Texans.
Jack.
There's just, I think there's like four or five teams in the AFC right now that are all 7-5, like competing for the wild card. But none of them feel that good, you know. And it's like, so it is
No,
kind of
a
anyone's
lot of
game. I
backup
mean,
quarterbacks.
that's why we say like the Broncos still have a chance. I mean, the Bills have a good chance too, even though I think they're 6-6.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it does feel weird. Like you wouldn't expect the Colts. Like there's just so many teams that are just like they just feel like fraudulent, and it's like I think it's because we also like compare to like probably like the Niners and like who just like kind of seem like they're at the top of the world right now, and it's like there's no team that feels like that they can touch them right now. So it's like hard to even look at these as like playoff teams.
I mean, it seems like the Colts, like if they make the playoffs, fine, but like we know they have a zero chance of winning the Super Bowl. You know, they might as well not even be there.
Do you think they could win a playoff game?
I think so.
I don't know.
I mean,
win one.
They have a good enough offense. Defensively, no, but they could be like last year's Giants in a way, where they managed to sneak out a win or something and then get pulverized. But
that's true. I could see that.
Honestly,
I
get
don't
Johnny
know.
Taylor back. Yeah, get Johnny Taylor back. I honestly could see Gardner Minshew getting all this positive momentum and leading them to a dub. I can see it. I kind of want that. I want to live in that universe where that happens. Like Gardner Minshew just on a national stage is great TV. So let's make it happen. And then on the other side, guys, are the Titans are just dead?
Done. Stick a fork in them.
Nothing more to show. Derrick Henry, do you guys see
said.
Derrick Henry's concussion? Or yeah, it was a concussion. Do you see that hit that he got laid on him?
I did. But he's already like he practiced yesterday. I saw. So I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it's more like a precautionary thing where they just kind of held him out for the rest of the game.
Jeez.
Who knows? It wouldn't matter.
When will that guy slow down, man?
Probably soon.
You keep getting hit by
probably soon.
Yeah. K-Dawg, you want to say anything about the Titans? You got anything to say about the Titans?
Hey, no. I couldn't care less about the Titans.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I love to hear. And we gotta speed up these next few games because we got our Lionsfan42069 coming on in a few minutes. So, Cardinals Steelers. I mean, I feel like the story here. Well, one that the Cardinals won 24-10, but Steelers lost Kenny Pickett, who had ankle surgery, I think, this morning.
Yeah.
And he's going to be out for. I don't think we know officially how long he's going to be out for. We do know that Trubisky will be in for an unannounced period of time. So that means fire up your Najees and your Jalen Warrens and just expect a shit ton of runs. I think in my mind is what this offense is going to be. Do you guys feel like that's the same way, or do you think Trubisky will light it up?
Nope, not in the slightest.
I think their upcoming game against the Patriots, it has like the all-time, or not all-time, but lowest point total in years. Like
of the year,
like 30 points or something.
Yep, 30.5. I'm looking at it right now.
I feel like I still smashed the under. I feel like I still smashed that.
I would smash under 10.5, to be honest.
Oh no!
Well, you would have hit that on this last Patriots game.
yeah, I would.
Oh, gross! And then Cardinals.
I was just gonna say, only thing for the Cardinals, James Conner has his revenge game, and Trey McBride is him.
Yeah, because we didn't talk. Ertz got released, or he asked for his release. And yeah, McBride's balling out, dude. I didn't realize. I thought he was kind of a shorter, smaller dude. He's a monster. He's big,
bro.
He's beefy, and I didn't see the sick arm sleeve he's got, like with all those tattoos. And I was like, damn, he just looks like a fiend out there. Glad he's on my fantasy team. The guy is a beast. All right, let's. You guys mentioned Chargers Patriots. Let's talk about
game of the week, baby.
6-0. Yeah. Go ahead, K-Dawg.
Hell yeah.
This one is just unfathomable to me that the Patriots are 2-10, got shut out at home 6-0. Like it just does not feel right. It's crazy.
By the legendary Chargers defense.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. I don't know what to say. And I
Dude,
keep picking the
it gets even
Patriots.
crazier.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see where I go this week. I know I'd like to pick the Patriots, but yeah, it's just awful.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Save yourself the stress.
When
Uh,
Brandon Staley's having his annual review of like, this is my amazing defense, he's going to point to this game and be like, see, Mr. Owner, this is why I should stay. I held the Patriots to 0 points.
Oh, 100%. Two points on this one for me real quick. One, this was the most electric win for the Locks in the entire season. We had Chargers -5.5, and they win 6-0.
So great.
That might be the
Wow.
first time ever that has
Funny.
happened in the history of the NFL.
That is
And
crazy.
there have been in this year, and this blows my mind when I saw this stat. There have been 55 instances this year where a team has held the other team, their opponents, to 10 points or less in a football game. Okay, in those 55 games, the team that has held their opposition to less than 10 points is 52-3. All three of those losses are the Patriots the last 3 weeks.
Oh
Wow.
no.
That's insane.
How is that possible, dude? It's otherworldly. So that's why I said I'm taking the under 10.5 points on Thursday Night Football, bro.
Dude,
It's unreal.
that's wild, especially like when you consider that Mac Jones, like first round QB. Like there's some teams putting up more points with like good lord, with half a QB. Like Joe Flacco put up more points than these guys. And when was the last time Joe Flacco started a game? Good lord. Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
Horrible. But
Also, Austin Eckler, like, is Austin Eckler just a shell of himself? Like, is it truly that he's like just recovering stuff from this injury earlier this year, or like, is he just done? Is he washed? Is he old? Is he not?
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving him the
I hope
benefit of the
so.
doubt and saying it's the injury, but it
I
doesn't
don't
look
feel
good.
like they don't. I feel like they don't throw to him enough or all that much compared to what they used to. Like three targets this game. That doesn't feel right. And especially like in a this wasn't this game like it was like a downpour too. So I feel like you
bad
would
weather,
typically
very
like
bad
back
weather.
down a lot more. So I don't know. Speaking of gross games, Falcons Jets. Falcons won 13-8. Tim Boyle was benched right at like the fourth quarter, and Trevor Siemian got in and didn't really do all that much better. Xavier Gipson was your leading wide receiver for the Jets, not Garrett Wilson, local superstar from what was it? Hard Knocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Desmond Ridder got a touchdown, which I think is one more touchdown than anyone expected him to get. So
we had some grease gate in this. We had 7 fumbles in this game.
Was there really? Oh my gosh, there was.
Oh
yeah,
it was contagious. Yeah. Good lord. Yeah, gross game. Jets are just toast. K-Dog, I know you love talking about the Jets. You got anything else you want to say here?
I mean, I picked them this game, so it was a little disappointing. But yeah, not much to say. Just disgusting QB play. I mean, Aaron Rodgers walked into that QB room. He looks around. He sees Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle. It's just a mess in there. Yeah, Jets are done. Falcons though, 6-6. I had picked them to win the NFC South, so they're currently in the lead.
Yeah. Falcons holding it together, which is kind of that whole division's gross. And yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. Bucks Panthers. Bucks win in 21-18. Panthers closest to winning a football game in a while.
Oh, not close enough though.
Yeah. So the one thing on the Panther side that I found really interesting, because they just fired their head coach, right, Frank Reich, and then Chuba comes in and absolutely dominates the backfield. 25 carries, 104 yards, 2 tutties. Like, was basically their whole offense. That was kind of interesting to me. I think. Do you guys think it kind of stays the same? Because I think so. Moving forward, like Miles Sanders just looks like a bum.
Yeah.
If the carries are this skewed, like it's basically 3-1. Like that's probably what this new regime thinks is for the best. So, Miles Sanders, enjoy your $10 million or however much they're paying you, and ride it out for the rest of the year on the bench.
Yeah, Miles Sanders is like a perfect example of like in free agency, an average player getting way overpaid. Like he's just
Yeah.
he was never that good. Chuba's not very good either. I know he had a great game, but he hasn't had a lot of success in the past either. I don't know. Bryce Young,
Well,
I picked the Panthers to win this game. They had a chance, and then Bryce Young threw a terrible interception on the last drive. So
yeah, man.
that was sad to
The
see.
fact that they ran it so much against the Bucks, who I think traditionally has had a pretty good run D this year, and and they've been really like beat through the air recently. I'm kind of surprised that Bryce Young wasn't throwing more. I mean, their leading receiver was Jonathan Mingo with 69 yards, which I think that's a first for him. So congrats to you and nice. But
Nice, very nice.
yeah, it's just ugly.
Well, to be fair, they probably just want to keep it out of his hands as often as possible because
I mean,
he's bordering on like the Zach Wilson tier.
Yeah,
He honestly is, where it's like, all right, let's just not throw an interception, and it's a positive play. So I don't know. But shout out Mike Evans, 10 straight years with 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. What I claimed I could do as well, or I thought it wasn't that hard. he put up 162 and 1. Yeah, he had a monster day. Congrats to Mike Evans. He's like, how many people? I'm curious, how many people have done that? Probably few.
I think I saw he's the second ever, and Jerry
really
to Jerry. Yeah, just
he
him
has
and Jerry.
14.
I could see him breaking it. How old is he? Is Mike Evans?
He's 30.
Mike Evans?
30.
There's a chance. Probably not. Probably a slim chance.
There's
But
a chance.
There is a chance, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that Baker's just airing it out. It's fun to see with Mike Evans at least. And then Rachaad White, man, he's like, I heard him described as McCaffrey light, and I would agree. Like he just kind of does it all. Budget McCaffrey. Just getting 84 yards on the ground and just doing it through the air too. Got another 22. Tutty. So yeah, Bucks staying in contention in that South Division. And then last game of the week, the Rams-Browns. Rams winning 36-19 against the Joe Flacco-led Cleveland Browns. And I didn't honestly expect the Rams to win by this much, just given how good the Browns defense is.
Yep. I'm off the Browns defense. I think they're getting exposed every week now. I think it was cute, it was fun, it's over.
Yeah. This game was closer than the final score shows. I think it was a 1-score game like midway through the fourth. And Browns had the ball, and then Joe Flacco just threw a really terrible interception, and then I think the Rams kind of pulled away. But it was close up until then. But yeah, now Joe Flacco's been. I read today he's been relegated to the practice squad. I don't think they really know who their quarterback's going to be this coming weekend. They're kind of a mess. And like you guys mentioned, the Browns defense is just they're giving up a ton of points the recent games. It's just I think they're on their way out of the playoff race.
Yeah, it's we'll see. It's hard to say, right? Because it's like Myles Garrett was playing hero ball, but maybe he's just not. Maybe he's just not it anymore. I don't know. And then Rams. I mean, the offense looks pretty decent, guys. Like Stafford's kind of bombing it out. 3 tutties, almost 300 yards. Puka. Who is DeMarcus Robinson? I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, he used to play for the Chiefs, and I
did not realize he was on the Rams.
I thought he was out of the league, and he caught 4 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. So goes to show, you just never know where these people end up sometimes.
Yeah, and Kyren Williams. Do you guys think Kyren Williams is like a multi-year, like he's gonna do it kind of guy? Like next year he'll still be the same kind of dude, like leading the charge on the rushing side and kind of in the passing game? Or do you think he'll be I don't know. Like he's pretty young, isn't he? So like do you guys think he's kind of a mainstay on this offense moving forward?
I think whoever's the main running back in a McVay offense, if he likes you, you're going to be good.
You just eat. Yeah.
It seems like they clearly preferred him to Cam Akers, rest in peace. But I don't know. They could draft someone, but I don't think so. If he's earning like nothing on his contract, which a 5th-round pick earns nothing, then why not just run him into the ground? As horrible as it is to say, like that's kind of the situation with running backs right now. So
yeah.
I think I think they'll keep him too. I think like fantasy wise, it's a little unsustainable. Like he scores a ton of touchdowns this season, which I'm very happy right now. But I wouldn't expect that in the coming years, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
They look at Rams look pretty good.
All right. Yeah, I agree. They're kind of a scary team. I wouldn't be one to play them at the end, like just on the last stretch of the season. I wouldn't want to be them. I won't be facing them. All right, K-Dog, do you have our current standings for our pick'ems?
Yeah. So it's getting pretty close, guys. I lost another week with only 5 wins this week. At 5-8. Pretty ugly. And you, Prophet J, and Coop each got 7. So I now only have a 4-game lead over you guys. You guys are both tied at 112. I've got 116.
Scary.
So it's pretty much
I'm on the
it's
come
anyone's
up.
game. Yeah, it's anyone's game right now. We got we're going in the last quarter of the season. So it'll be interesting. I'm not gonna play it safe. I'm going for the win. So I
I
hope
love
you
it.
guys are too.
There's some good games to pick this week too. There's some spicy matchups.
One thing we didn't mention, and Coop would probably be fuming, is we did
Oh.
not give him credit for that big Coop poop he laid on us when he picked the Packers over the Chiefs.
It's true.
We didn't give him any credit for that. That was one of the picks of the year behind
absolutely.
Similar
That
to
might
the
be
Bills over the Broncos. I don't know which is better.
Well, in terms of spread, so the Packers were a 6-point underdog. I think the the Broncos were like I want to say 8 or 9 point. So in terms of spread, I think the Bills Broncos is a little better, and there might also be a little bit of bias in that. I'm also, just as a side note, I'm also still salty AF that the Seahawks were almost a near 10-point underdog against the boys. Just wanted to point that out too.
They were wrong about that. Yeah,
that would have been technically the call of the year if you go by spread. If we had won, but all right, let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna have Lionsfan42069 join us for a quick Lions breakdown. All right, folks, welcome back to Shmokin' Hot Takes. And for today, we have another special guest. Today, we have Lionsfan42069. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the pod.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, Lions fan, you've had a great season overall, unlike what the Broncos kind of did, where they started bad and came back, and now we're in kind of that playoff contention. The Lions have just been pretty consistent all season. So how are you feeling, one, about the Lions, just the run so far?
Yeah, I mean, overall, big picture, 9-3. That's a pretty hot start for the Lions. I think it's like 1962 is the last time that was the record. So overall, pretty well. But the last few weeks has definitely got me a little nervous. Not gonna lie, just based off their offensive line and defense.
Yeah, K-Dog, you want to tell Jedi what you said in our earlier on in the pod?
Yeah, we were talking about the Lions. I haven't been on here for a couple weeks, so I've kind of haven't gotten a chance to talk about the Lions. Kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a decline. They have been winning most of their games, but I thought the Lions might be frauds. I don't know if they're a real competitor in the NFC.
I think don't know if they're quite frauds yet. I think this Bears game, and especially the Dallas game, I think it'll show us what they're really made of. But I think there has been a little decline in the last 3 games for sure.
What do you think? So what were you thinking when the Lions went up 21-0 and then the Saints started to come back, almost won that game? Were you like, what was the gut reaction there?
It felt like the same old Lions, to be honest. That was kind of their. Even if they do well, they find a way to have everything go wrong and try to lose the game. But I mean, they ended up holding on in that game. Obviously, I think the Saints were without a few weapons, and then towards the end, Derek Carr went out after their linebacker just spiked him into the ground. So, It's a close game, and I just don't think it should have been that close, especially after going up by 21 points.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, and then Laporta, how do you feel about him? Beasting out 140 yards. Do you
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
just
on
the
my
future.
fantasy.
Yeah, there you go.
He's definitely doing well. Probably a keeper. But yeah, he seems like he's got the whole package. It's nice to see their top draft tight end doing well. I think last it was Ebron, and then obviously they got Hawkinson, but decided not to pick up his contract. So
Yeah,
maybe
who's the
they'll
other
keep.
tight end? Is it Wright? I was like, wasn't that
Yeah,
was that who they were rolling with last year when Hawkinson got traded?
yeah,
Can't
it's pretty
remember.
much him, and then this other guy, Zylstra, I think was his name. So
Okay.
definitely a good pickup in the draft.
You know what's scary though? Next week, Lions are only a 3-point favorite. That's kind of wild. Against the Bears.
Yeah, they
That's
going into Chicago, they kind of struggled a little bit. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, they kind of barely snuck out a win after being down 12 points with 3 minutes left. So kind of curious to see how that rematch goes in Chicago.
So you don't think the Lions are fraudulent though? Not yet, at least.
Not yet, but they got me worried, not gonna lie.
How do you think they'd stack up against like other top NFC teams right now, like the Niners? Like, do you guys play the Eagles at all this
So
year?
the rest of our schedule goes at Chicago, home against Denver, at Minnesota, at Dallas, then at home against Minnesota to end the season. So it's
Okay.
really like Denver and Dallas are going to be the tests, I feel like, and then maybe Minnesota.
Yeah, that will be I think we'll get our sneak preview for that Detroit Denver game. Well, I think we're gonna have both you and Broncos fan 42069 on for the preview of that game. So that'll be a fun to see how you guys battle that out. All right. Final question for you, Lions fan 42069. How far, if at all, are the Lions making it through the playoffs? They win in game, 2 games, they're making the Super Bowl. What is your hot take there?
Being a Lions fan and given what I know, I think they win the NFC, and I'm worried about a first round exit.
You think they win all of the whole NFC or just the NFC North?
NFC North.
Okay. First round exit?
Yeah,
Really? The
I
choke.
just the way they've been playing these last few games just doesn't have me excited.
Lions fan, when was the last time the Lions won a playoff game? Out of curiosity.
The last time they won a playoff game was 91.
No
with
way.
the great Barry Sanders.
Okay.
I think that was against the Cowboys too.
That was.
Oh.
If you guys ever have an extra hour, you go on Amazon Prime and watch Bye Bye Barry. It gives you it shows you a little peek of that game, and it kind of shows you what it's like to be a Lions fan. Now that you bring up that last playoff win, I like to bring this up when people ask about it. But for my dad and uncle, big Lions fans. My dad's 51. He's seen the Lions win one playoff game in his entire life, and that was the 91 game.
No
that hurts.
way.
So
Loyalty right there.
That makes me want to get in the fetal position on the couch and eat comfort food for the rest of the night. Like that.
So I'm really hoping that this is the year they get a second win since those games. But the way they've been playing, offensive lines had some issues, which is usually their big strength. Their defense doesn't look great. They just aren't good against the pass. They didn't really get anyone in free agency for defense. I got to see how they play these next few weeks. See if that changes my mind.
God, you make this team sound like you make it being a fan of the Lions sound like being a Mariners fan. Good Lord. It's horrible.
Sounds pretty eerily similar.
It's horrible. Oh, gross. Well, I know I personally would love to see Dan Campbell and the Lions get at least a win in the playoffs. You can knock the boys out. You can knock the Niners out. Right, K-Dog? Wouldn't that be nice, knocking the boys out?
No. Well, I don't think we'll see that anyway. I don't think the way the seeding will
Probably
line up,
not.
I don't think we're even gonna play the Lions, but I would love to see them knock out 49ers or Eagles, absolutely.
Hey, we'll do our best.
Oh, fair enough. All right, Mr. Lionsfan42069. Any parting words for the people of Shmokin Hot Takes?
No parting words. Lions, hopefully they pick it up, keep rolling. Dan Campbell, Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
That's my
I love
goal.
that. I
And
love that.
let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, and we'll have you on. We'll have you back on soon to fight with our local Broncos fan, and hopefully the Lions, both the Lions and Broncos, win until then. But we'll see. But thank you for joining.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
Of course.
appreciate you having or we appreciate you joining on, and yeah, we will see you soon.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Talk to you guys next week.
All right.
Yes,
Adios.
sir.
Yes, yeah.
All right. So we'll jump into our weekly pick'ems. We'll pass on. Oh, I should have asked him about. Should have asked him who we got for the Lions versus the Bears. I assume.
We know.
He's not taking
I
the
assume the Lions. I assume. Before we'll jump into that game for just first off, since that we were already talking about it. But first off, we'll say the two teams on bye this week: Cardinals and Commanders. Which I don't think anyone's really missing anything with that. Exactly. I don't think anybody cares. Maybe for fantasy sakes, but other than that, I don't think
Even
anybody
then,
cares
not
about those
really.
games. If you have James
Hey,
Conner, you're probably a little sad, and I'm bummed about losing McBride for a week. But
Well, Prophet, you don't have to worry about starting Terry McLaurin this week, so
yeah,
you're
thank
free.
God.
You're free of that decision.
I might just drop him off my team at this point. That guy doesn't even deserve a roster spot. Yeah, so let's jump into Lions Bears. So currently the Lions are the 3-point favorite with an over under 40.5, at least when I pulled this. They're moving into Chicago for this game. And yeah, as we just talked about, Lions kind of been trending down while the Bears have kind of been trending a little more positively. It seems like their offense is starting to get it together a bit, and kind of same with the defense. I think personally, I think both Gibbs and Montgomery are going to have a big day, and I think Goff is going to have a little bit of a bounce back himself too, and just playing consistent and well, and put up a couple touchdowns I see through the air, and maybe another one for at least Montgomery or Gibbs on the ground. I have the Lions in this one as the road favorite. So, how do you guys feel about this game?
What do you think, K-Dog? Who you got?
Despite me kind of talking shit about the Lions so far this episode, I am picking them this game still. I think it'll be close, kind of similar to when they played a couple weeks ago. I just have a hard time picking the Bears. I know they have been trending up a little bit. They're maybe not that bottom dweller team that they were at the beginning of the year, but I think the Lions find a way to win.
So we're
By the
all
way-
on the
Oh
Lions.
no!
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was.
We're
I thought he was
all
setting
on
up
the
for.
Lions, huh? Because I'm on the Bears, baby.
Wow.
I'm on the Bears. I think the Bears
No.
should have beat them 2 weeks ago. They were ahead by 10 points, 14 points, something like that, with like 3 minutes left, and they managed to choke that away. I think going back home, I think they get it done. I really was hoping that last week would be the bounce back game for the Lions, and while they won, it was in very, I don't want to call it sketchy fashion, but it wasn't an impressive victory over the Saints. Anytime you blow a 21-point lead, it's not going to look good. So yeah, I don't know. I hate the Bears. I don't think they're a good team, but I think they are going to win this game? Question mark. So
I mean, if the
3-point
spread's like kind of to me, it's kind of wild when you're comparing like a 9-3 team versus a 4-8 team. Like I don't think you would ever expect a 3-point spread, right?
No.
It's like that's kind of crazy, and that's kind of telling that even Vegas is like, this game is probably gonna be a lot closer than we think it is.
Yeah, if I ever like took plus spreads, I would take the +3. I probably would go up to like +3.5. That way you don't get screwed over on a field goal. But I would probably take the +3.5 right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
Coop's picking the Bears as well, so we're spread.
Oh, I
Oh.
forgot we have to include the Coop takes in this. That's unfortunate. It's just gonna be garbage. Also, Coop told me off air that he said he officially is rebranding. We don't know rebranding to what, but he would prefer to no longer be called Poop Coop. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I wonder why,
I
right?
can't
I wonder
imagine why. Yeah, what?
We'll see what he his
Rebranding.
new identity is. All right, so we got two. We're split. 2 Bears, 2 Lions. All right, fun. I like that. All right, now let's just go back through the order of the game. So we'll go to the Thursday night matchup. I don't know if the NFL will break 1,000 viewers on this game. I don't think there will be any points scored in this game. I think this game might end in a 0-0 tie. It's the Steelers versus the Patriots. With the Steelers somehow are a -6 favorite, and the over/under is 30.5, which CDubs, you probably know better than me, but that's got to be the lowest of the year.
It is the lowest of the year. Not the lowest all time. However, we still have 2 days until kickoff, so it might keep going. We might get the lowest total in NFL history on this one.
Do you know what the
It's
lowest
got to
is?
go lower.
I'm pretty sure it's 28.5 because
Let me
we had
look
some low totals early in the year that were like 32.5 that I went the under on, and
Okay.
I looked it up then. If memory serves me correct, it's 28.5.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's pretty close then.
Yeah, and I don't think the Patriots. It's similar to the Commanders. I don't think they're going to win another game. This team is just busted. I mean, like, I feel sad. They interviewed a guy on the defense after this week's game, and he's like, "We gave up too many points." Like, bro, no, you didn't. It's okay. You don't have to lie to bail out the defense, bro. You didn't give up that. You gave up 6 points. Okay, it's fine. Like, it's not your fault. So yeah, the offense just can't score. The game's in Pittsburgh, I think. Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh. So yeah, I'm taking the Steelers.
Yeah, I have the Steelers as well. I think it was I think it was 2 weeks ago after the end of the Giants Patriots, where I think it was Saquon and Jabril Peppers were like at the end of the game and like dapping up and whatnot, and Jabril Peppers is like, "You lucky we asked." It's like,
yeah, I saw
that's
that.
kind of just the definition of the Patriots. Like they're just.
I think he had to apologize to his team for that.
Well, yeah, I mean they are ass. He was right. He shouldn't have to apologize. He's just speaking facts. Also the lowest over under ever I'm seeing based on, you can go to statmuse.com. That's where I'm pulling this info from. So if I'm wrong, blame them. They said there's a 4-way tie for over under at 28 points.
Okay.
Where it happened in 4 games, believe it or not, in 1993. So nothing really in the nothing really in the new era of football. Dude,
so they were just like trying something new that year.
No,
that's
dude, literally, that's why I don't know if this is right, because it's all on the day after Christmas, 12/26/1993. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games that hold the record for the over under, starting from 30 to 28.
It must have been bad weather. It must have been bad weather.
Yeah,
that's all
it must have been. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, like a big snowstorm maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyways, the fact that we're getting even remotely close to that and perhaps could break it is incredible to me. Yeah, I have the Steelers. I mean, Mitch Trubisky is somehow gonna. You know, honestly, I don't. Never mind. My Shmokin hot take is about this game, and I'm not gonna say it yet. But
it's no points scored.
it's a spicy one. I don't have anything more I want to say about this. I'm probably not even gonna watch this game.
Dog, who are you on?
You know, guys, I just can't stop. I can't stop. I'm going with the Patriots. I'm going with the Patriots. I'm sorry, I cannot pick Mitch Trubisky to win this game against Bill Belichick. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. I have to. And you know what? I kind of thought someone would be with me. You guys are just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just delusional. I don't know. I don't want to pick the Steelers and that be the one game the Patriots win. Just let me get one and then I'll stop.
I respect it.
Coop's on the Steelers too.
Yeah, Coop's got the Steelers too. Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
That's honestly not good because he's cursed on Thursday night. So you have a good chance of winning this one because his Thursday night picks are known to be
it's gonna be ugly. I'm not gonna watch it either. It's gonna be Very ugly game.
Yeah, well, I'll be watching college basketball or something that night. All right, moving on to the Browns versus the Jaguars. Is this true that they also have a 30.5 point?
It
That's what I'm
is.
seeing on Vegas Insiders. 30.5.
Mhm.
Good Lord. Yeah, so Browns
That's what
are the
happens when you just got two
3-point
bad
favorite.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, because we have probably, is it going to be Joe Flacco again versus
guess.
CJ Beathard? Do we know if he's like the official starting quarterback?
It's going to be Beathard. We don't have anyone else. If we
then
beat
is
the
it-
Jags.
And Flacco again? I don't really know what this. I mean, it must be. Is it not going to be?
I think it depends
It-
on if DTR gets through concussion protocol.
I mean, it doesn't. It probably doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Like this game is ugly. Is this in Duval, CDubs?
No, it is
This is in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, gross. Okay. So it's really going to be the battle of like Jerome Ford versus Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
And Beathard might throw a
Pretty
little bit.
much.
Yeah. So, all right. I don't know. I'll probably not watch this game either. I got the Browns. I'm taking them as the 3-point favorite. I just think if you kind of neutralize both quarterbacks, then I kind of just think the Browns are the better team because while I think their wide receivers aren't as good as the Jaguars, I just think both teams are gonna be running the ball a lot. And honestly, I just think the Browns stock up better. So I'm going Browns.
Hey, Doug,
Coop's
who are
got-
you on?
I was gonna say Coop's got the Browns, so he's with
Okay.
you. I'm actually going Jaguars here.
Oh.
I think I'm pretty low on the Browns right now. I mean, we already talked about it. Their defense, they're giving up a ton of points. They basically don't have a quarterback. They don't know what they're doing on offense. The Jaguars, while I do think they're in big trouble, obviously, without Trevor Lawrence. We kind of talked about this on the pod this year, how Trevor Lawrence, he's had a very underwhelming year, numbers wise. In spite of that, the Jaguars went 8-3 under him, or 9-3. But so that kind of makes me think that maybe they're not so reliant on their quarterback, and not to say that CJ Beathard can lead them to the playoffs necessarily, but I think he might be good enough to beat this Browns team.
I couldn't have said it any better myself, K-Dog. I'm on the Jags. I can't pick against them. I'm on the Jags.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
This is one of those games where I was really moving back and forth. Kind of crazy. This game has the same spread as the Lions Bears, which just feels kind of weird to me. But
It did flip on Sunday night. The Jags were favored by 3, but with the Trevor Lawrence injury, it completely flipped to Cleveland side.
yeah,
So
yeah, dang. So he's worth 6 points basically. That's what Vegas is saying.
yeah,
That's not a lot, honestly. I would have thought to be bigger. Yeah. Oh well. All right. Next game: Ravens versus the Rams. Ravens 7.5 point favorite. Over under 40.5. And this game is happening in Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore. I'll keep it short and sweet. I got the Ravens in this one. They're coming off a bye week. And honestly, I just think they're going to run over the Rams. I think honestly, I could see the over hitting on the 40.5 though. I think this will be like a reasonably high scoring game just because the Rams just offense has been looking really great. Granted, the Ravens run defense, I personally hold pretty high. And so I could see Kyren Williams having a little bit of a quieter day, but yeah, I think Ravens take this one pretty easily.
Yeah,
think,
I'm also on the Ravens on this one. But I would caution on the over. It's supposed to be extremely windy on this one. A lot of the game, I think there's going to be a big weather front that's going to hit the East Coast this week or this weekend. So
Smash the under.
A lot of games that you would expect to go over with these two, because that was my lean as well when I was going over games for the locks. And the more like I look at what I like at first, and then I'll look at the weather reports. And right now it says very windy, cloudy and mild with rain and a thunderstorm. Strong winds can cause damage and travel delays. So I think it's going to be. I think this one's going to be ugly. I'm going to take the Ravens because they have a better defense.
Well,
fair enough.
I am just now learning of that weather report but I'm going to stick with my pick anyway. I've actually got the Rams.
Wow, you weren't kidding when you said you're going spicy.
He said, screw the weather. He said, I don't need the weather.
I guess I got to start checking the forecast because I do agree that kind of seems like it would favor the Ravens defense.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
My theory with the Rams, I don't really have much of a logic, but this is my theory is, two of our biggest upsets we've called on the pod so far this year. Prophet Jay picked the Broncos over the Bills, and then Coop just picked the Packers over the Chiefs. The common denominator, you have this kind of bad team to the start of the year. They get hot, and then they beat a really good team. Like the Broncos, they won 2 in a row, then beat the Bills. The Packers won 2 in a row, they beat the Chiefs. Now the Rams have won 3 in a row. And I think they're beating the Ravens this week. I think
I like this narrative. I do.
I think the Ravens are a better team, but I don't know. It's gonna be tough on the road. I wish it was in LA. I'd feel a lot better about it, but
yeah.
I think the Rams are looking like a playoff team again.
It's crazy. I didn't realize that they were 6-6, and they're tied with the Hawks now. So that's just kind of mind-boggling to me.
They're ahead of us technically because they have the tiebreaker.
Because they have the tiebreaker. Yeah. So bad. Ugh.
Pain.
Time to move on.
Wait. Who's Coop on?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Coop's got the Ravens. I gotta start saying him first. So you guys are all on the Ravens. I got the Rams. I kind of thought Coop might pick an upset here, but maybe he's playing it safe now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He might be. He was getting a little too crazy. So, or maybe it's just since he's.
Although he did, I guess I take it back. He did pick Bears over the Lions, so. He's
Man, I'm the one who's looking. My picks are so boring, but just wait. I got some good ones coming up. All right, Saints Panthers. This is not one of the good ones that I have coming up. I just got the Saints in this one. 5.5 point favorite. They are playing in Caesars Superdome. That must be in New Orleans, right? Yeah, that's definitely New Orleans.
That's where the Sugar Bowl is being held.
Oh, there we go. This is another low over under 37.5. I think Jameis is just going to light it up this game. Give me the Saints.
I agree. Go Jameis. Famous Jameis. I swear to God, if Chris Olave doesn't have 4 touchdowns, I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, go Saints. Saints this weekend.
Yeah, I got the Saints as well. There's no way I'm picking the Panthers 2 weeks in a row. But Coop decided to pick the Panthers this week.
No, he didn't.
No, did he really?
He did.
Oh my gosh.
Gross.
He doesn't believe in Jameis.
I hate that pick. Honestly, the Panthers secondary is not bad, so I could see them like maybe getting a couple picks, but yeah, barf. I'm good. All right, Falcons Bucks. Falcons are the 2.5 point favorite, over under of 39.5. Sorry, I'm late on pulling these games up. It's happening in Georgia, in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz, baby. Who wants? CDubs, why don't you lead this one? Who do you got for this?
Yeah, I am gonna close my eyes and pick Atlanta. I don't really know why. They seem like they're kind of taking a step forward ahead of everyone in the division, even though that's not saying much, and it's probably like a little teeny tiny baby waddle step. It's still a step. So
yeah,
I think Atlanta at home probably gets this done. It's gonna be a gross divisional matchup, but I would lean Atlanta as much as it pains me to say.
Yeah, this is a gross game. I got Atlanta in this one too. I just think Bijan will have a good day, and honestly, I'm hoping for a small bounce back with Ritter, but I just feels like it's hard to count on him with the Riddler. That's all I got.
Yeah, I guess I'm going against the grain once again. I got the Buccaneers. Simply because they just need to win this game more than the Falcons do. Like if the Buccaneers lose and they go down 2 games to the Falcons for the division, that's gonna be tough to come out of. And it's just 3 very mediocre teams. I'm just kind of believing in the law of averages. We bring it back down. Everyone, just keep it down. Everyone's kind of around the same spot. Coop's got the Buccaneers too.
Oh, split. All right, good.
Yeah.
That's
this will be an interesting week. I don't know if we split this much in the pick.
A lot of movement happening. That's perfect. I need that for the comeback. All right, Bengals Colts, the rematch of the Apple Cup.
The
Midwest Apple Cup. That's what's happening here. The Colts, are the 1.5 point favorite with an over under of 39.5, and this game is happening in since Cincinnati. So, K-Dog, why don't you lead us off this one? Who do you got?
Well, in this Apple Cup matchup, or rematch, I should say, that CDubs pointed out, I just looked at a stat. Jake Browning is 4-0 in Apple Cups, and Gardner Minshew is 0-1. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with history here. I'm gonna go with Jake Browning in the Bengals.
Yeah, let's
love it.
go.
I love
I was
it.
trying to. So before this, I wanted to do some research on like if this has ever happened before, like a UW versus Wazoo quarterback in the NFL, especially if they had played each other in the Apple Cup. I was overwhelmed. There's no way to figure it out. But if you guys have heard it, I'd love to hear it. I just could not figure it out.
I don't think there's many UW quarterbacks that have had a lengthy career.
Yeah,
in
No,
the
it's
NFL.
tough. I looked it up. Like each school, they've had about like 15 quarterbacks in the NFL, but it's hard to like say like, oh, you know, who played at the same time, who started, etc.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who's Coupon?
Who also has the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm on.
Oh.
I hope
Bengals
we all
too.
got it.
I'm on the
I hope we
Bengals.
all got him this week. Come
Oh.
on. Let's make it 4 for 4.
All on the Bengals, huh? Yeah, I'm on the Bengals too.
yeah.
Looking at the weather report,
Oh,
it's
no.
supposed to be 20-mile-per-hour winds in this one. And I think with the Colts offense, they depend so much on throwing the ball with Minshew for their offense, and I think it's going to really negatively impact them. They still have Zach Moss, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I think the Bengals find a way to squeak this one out at home.
Yeah,
So
love it.
go
Love it.
Dogs.
Yeah, go Dogs, baby. We need that energy. Although I guess I keep thinking that our matchup against Texas is happening next week, but it's not for like a month. So
Yeah.
I keep thinking about that. All right, Jets Texans 5.5 point favorite, over under of 32.5, which is kind of a wild. That was a wild over under for having a potent Texans offense. But I guess you can throw in the Jets.
Weather again.
The weather,
Yeah.
and you throw in the Jets in there. Yeah, it's happening at MetLife. I got the Texans. I don't think there's any way they lose this game, personally. So not much else to say.
I really okay. This is gonna sound bad. I kind of want to take the Jets only because Brees Hall is him, and it's gonna be a running game for the most part. But the Jets are horrible, and yeah, the Texans are gonna find a way to squeak this one out. So I got Houston.
Yeah, I got the Texans too. Look, they're trying to make the playoffs, and they can't lose to the Jets right now. The Jets look terrible.
They're not like the Eagles, right, K-Dog? I mean, who loses to the Jets?
Do the boys play the Jets this year?
Doesn't make sense. They don't. No.
Oh, no, they did. They did.
Or no, they did.
Killed,
Yeah,
they
they
already
did.
did. They already did.
They killed the Jets.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
You know the Broncos. Broncos also lost to the Jets. Broncos fan, I know you're listening, bro. What happened?
Bills lost to the Jets, but the Jets are just. I mean, they're different now than they were then.
Damn,
I mean, with Tim Boyle playing. Coop's got the Texans as well. So
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Rematch in the NFC West. Niners Hawks. The Niners open as 10.5. Is it still 10.5? 10.5 point favorites in Levi Stadium. 46.5. Yeah, over under. So yeah, I don't have the Hawks this one. If this was just for funsies and I wasn't trying to make a comeback, I'd pick the Hawks easy. But I picked against the Hawks when they first played on Thanksgiving. I got to do it again, man. Like the Niners they have so much freaking momentum. They just look like the clear number one team, even though they have 3 losses. Like they just look like the best team in America right now. And while the Hawks played an improved football game against the boys, I don't think we're going to even sniff the Niners this one. So, yep.
Yeah.
Go Niners.
K-Dog, who are you on? Who are you picking?
I could see it being oddly closer than you would expect it to be. I don't know that it'll be a blowout necessarily. But I got the Niners. I can't pick the Seahawks here. And Coop is picking the Niners as well. So
yeah. If Coop does it,
you gotta show some faith here.
Well, I mean, it's crazy because last time they played 2 weeks ago, I was feeling so comfortable when I said the Hawks are gonna win this game.
Oh no.
And honestly, we didn't really sniff the game. Like I don't even think we showed up to play the game.
Yeah, I was gonna
Now,
say they were eating Thanksgiving.
now that's a different story. We lost two games in a row. We're 6-6. We need this win. And I'm here to tell you, we're not going to get this win. The 49ers are going to obliterate us. So I'm on the 49ers.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
You know,
Yeah.
I may be tempted. I will say I may be tempted to pick the Seahawks in an upset next week against the Eagles.
I love that.
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
That's a different story. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this one's just not. It's not going to end well for us. I will watch this game and I will cry probably throughout the whole game. Oof, sad day to be a Hawks fan. All right, we got to get through a few of these. Raiders versus Vikings. Vikings 3-point favorite. Over under 40.5. This is happening. Does anyone know off the top of their heads?
In Vegas. In
Vegas. Okay. Well, I'll make my stunt brief. I got the Vikings in this one. I think it's solely because they're coming off a bye where I think they just have a little more time to prep. Raiders, honestly, I don't think we should discount the Raiders at all. I think they've been playing actually pretty darn good football ever since McDaniels got fired. But the Vikings, who I think are kind of trying to do their own little playoff push, I think this is a game kind of like we've been talking about where you got to win. So I got the Vikings in this one.
Yeah. No, I had the Raiders penciled in at first, but then I remembered that Justin Jefferson's coming back, and I'm excited
I
to
didn't even
see.
say that.
Yeah, I'm excited
That's
to see what he
important.
looks like. I'm excited to see what he looks like with Dobbs. So for that reason alone, and because I'm a very sad Justin Jefferson fantasy owner who is not going to the playoffs because of him, I missed the early weeks where he was just dominating and putting up numbers. So I'm looking forward to seeing that again. Hopefully, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Vikings.
Yeah, I got the Vikings too. This game feels like just a total toss up to me, honestly, with these two teams. But I just kind of believe in Josh Dobbs. Like he had a rough game against the Bears. I think after the bye, bounces back and keeps their playoff hopes alive, especially with Justin Jefferson coming back. So we all got the Vikings. Coop's got the Raiders here.
Yeah, this feels like a Coop Raider pick.
Yeah,
He loves the Raiders is like his second favorite team to like. I swear to.
He's got a
like
lot
the
of second
Chargers.
favorite teams.
After the Chargers. He just loves to stick on them almost as much as you love the Patriots, K-Dog.
Almost.
Yeah, and as much as CDubs loves the Cardinals. All right, Chargers Broncos 2.5. Chargers 2.5 point favorite. I don't know how that's possible. Gross. 43.5 point over under, and I'm guessing if they're the favorite, this must be in SoFi. It is in SoFi. That doesn't matter to me. I'm taking the Broncos, baby. I'm calling for a comeback, bounce back after the loss of the Texans. They played them close, man. Russell Wilson threw 3 picks. You think that's going to happen again? Hell no. He's going to have a lot better game against this awful Chargers defense. And honestly, unless Austin Eckler gets it going, I don't see the Chargers winning this one. Give me the Broncos.
Hey, Doug, who are you on? I'm curious.
Yeah, so this one, I feel like the Broncos have been like such a great story this year. And then they lose that game to the Texans. In order to keep that story going, they have to win this game. And so that's, that would be a great story, but sometimes that's not how real life works. I think the Chargers are going to pull the upset here simply because they're able. I mean, they're not a great team, but they have the ability. It's a divisional game. They're going to play like they want to win too. And I just think, I don't know. I just have a weird feeling that the Chargers win this one.
I like that. I'm guessing Coop's on the Chargers.
He is. So.
God, he will die on that.
He doesn't waver.
Yeah, I'm gonna side with the Prophet on this one. I'm gonna go Broncos.
Yes.
I got a weird feeling they're gonna bounce back, but I definitely would not be surprised if the Chargers win this game. So I think K-Dog, you laid out a really good case. You almost made me switch there. You almost made me hit the little Euro step on myself. But I'm gonna stick with the Broncos.
Almost broke his own ankles.
We just don't really know. It's hard to trust the Broncos, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a weird game.
All right. Let's go to Arrowhead when we see the Chiefs playing the Bills. Chiefs 2.5 point favorite over under 47.5. Spicy game with the Chiefs kind of on the decline. Defense super beat up against the Bills, who were on a bye, have a little bit of time to rest up against this Chiefs team and maybe save their season with a win. Who wants? I don't want to go first. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because I don't think in the last however long Josh Allen has been in the league, they've beaten the Chiefs. Are they going to do it here? The answer is no. The Chiefs are going to win this game. I think they bounce back. It's a gross spot to take the -2.5, but a preview for the locks. Get the -2.5. So I have full confidence. I think the Bills kind of tried to save their season against the Eagles, and they gave a damn good attempt at it. And I think they probably should have won that game, but they didn't. And we're gonna visit this game for my Shmokin hot take in a couple of minutes here, but.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs find a way to pull this out, and it's not because of Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It's because of other people.
I'm betting the under on his receptions.
My Shmokin hot take is also in this game. I'll save it for later. But I think mine's going in a different direction because I got the Bills winning this game.
Okay.
Both these teams have lost, I think, three out of their last 5 games. They're both kind of reeling. The Chiefs are in a better position, though, of course, in that division. I just think the Bills are desperate. I think they're able. I think they, there's a bit of that history there in the playoffs, of course. I think they find a way to win this game. Coop also has the Bills.
Oh.
And I am also joining you guys on the side of the Bills. Wow. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm kind of thinking Josh Allen's going to have a big game because I think there's a lot of haters out there that, Josh Allen just wants to prove wrong. And I think the Chiefs are just they're in this weird, funky spot. And it just honestly, just watching them play against the Packers, that didn't look like the normal Chiefs to me. That didn't look like the invincible golden boy, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So,
that's fair. That's fair.
I think the armor was chipped, and I think the Bills are gonna bust it wide open.
Oh, bussin', he says.
Yeah. All right, K-Dawg. I know you were getting a little you were itching to talk about this game. It's America's game of the week, baby. Sunday Night Football. We got it.
Yeah, it's a big one.
The Eagles taking on the boys. Is this in Dallas? It's in Dallas, isn't it?
It is.
Jerry's World.
And by the way, the Cowboys have won 14 straight games there.
Really? And they are 3-point favorites, it looks like. Over under 53. Yeah. My phone says 3. When I took the screenshot of the games, it said 3.5. So I don't know. Maybe it changed.
I've also seen 3. I've also seen 3.5, but
the boys though.
I'll go first on this one. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see that the Cowboys were 3.5-point favorites. To be honest, I thought maybe they'd be 1 or 2-point favorites. Yeah, I don't know. It's a big game for the Cowboys to. I mean, if they win this game, then it's a tie in the NFC East. But unfortunately, the Eagles have a much easier schedule going forward. So even if the Cowboys win this game, they still have a pretty slim chance of winning the division. I don't know. I'm picking the Cowboys, but I don't feel very good about it. But I think this is the type of game where, if the Cowboys are going to compete in the NFC this year, they got to show that they can beat the Eagles or the 49ers, and they haven't been able to do that, in the past couple of years. So I'm going with the Cowboys simply because I'm a fan, but I don't feel very good about it.
And who does Coop got?
What about you guys? Coop's got the Cowboys too, which surprised me.
Yeah, I got the boys as well. I just think they're just kind of a more well-rounded team than the Eagles right now, to be honest. CD just kind of looks like he is up there in the top 3 wide receivers in my mind. And Pollard kind of seems to be getting a heavier workload and running the ball well. And Dak just kind of seems like he should be in the MVP race in my mind. And the Eagles, just that secondary is just so awful. I think Dak's gonna have a monster day. So I'm going Cowboys too.
So no one's flying with the Eagles, huh? It's hunting season. We're shooting down the Eagles, baby. The Cowboys are gonna win by 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. They smoke them. I don't think this is close. Yeah, I don't think this is a close game.
I gotta say, I
Kid-
was not expecting this.
K-Dog is getting a little too excited over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe I should feel a little
Keep the
better
pants
about this
on.
game.
Keep the pants on over there.
I've just been conditioned to, think we're gonna lose these games. But I mean, I guess they have that home winning streak. Like you guys said, the Eagles defense looks terrible. Yeah, it should be a fun game to watch for sure.
Yeah. All right. And then so apparently 2 games on Monday night. I didn't realize that. But I think we can just blow through these with 2 words, one word for each winner. So first, Giants Packers. Who do you guys got?
Packers.
The G-Men. No, the Packers. Yeah, the Packers.
No. Yeah, Coop's got
the
Packers.
Packers are gonna.
Yeah, I got. As much as I want to pick the Giants, I have the Packers. And Titans Dolphins. Dolphins are 13.5-point favorite. It's in Tennessee. I got the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think this is the easiest one of the week. Dolphins.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins win by 30. So
are you picking the Dolphins to cover?
I personally would, yes. But
yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yeah, there's honestly some tight games this week. Like honestly, I could see a lot of games being swayed back or forth. All right, let's blast through the power rankings. We're running out of time here. K-Dog, you want to go through yours, and then you can just list off. And then we'll jump into CDubs.
Sure. I'll do Coops really quick. So he's got number 10. This might steal some people's thunder, but he's got the Packers at number 10. He's got the Bills at number 9, Texans at 8, Lions at 7, 6. He's got the Dolphins, and the Chiefs at 5, Ravens at 4, Cowboys at 3, Eagles at 2, and 49ers at 1.
Wow.
You guys kind of alluded to having the Packers in yours.
I don't love. What'd you say he had? The Eagles are still at 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love that personally, but all right.
K-Dog. Drop the Jags, yeah. My honorable mention was the Packers. I actually did not include them, but they might be my 11. At 10, I got the Bills coming back. And I got the Broncos despite the loss, and right ahead of them, I have the Texans at number 8. Lions at number 7. Chiefs at 6. I've got the Dolphins up to number 5. Cowboys number 4. Ravens number 3. I still have the Eagles at number 2 too.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Am I alone in this?
You'll find out.
Yeah, I mean they saw the best record in the league, and they lost to my number 1 team.
Yeah. I mean they got blown out though. All right, that's fair. All right, CDubs, lay it on us.
So
you always got the good stuff.
So it's because number 10's my team that is always forgotten about. It's the team that I think deserves a spot, but no one else is putting them there. So number 10, I got the Indianapolis Colts. Welcome. Welcome to the house. You're going to get booted out next week after you lose to Browning, but welcome in for a week.
Man, that's awesome.
I know. I toyed between them and Houston, and I was like, you know what? I haven't talked about Indy. I'll throw them in there. Number 9, I have Green Bay at 9. Actually, I think LaFleur has them clicking on all cylinders. And interesting note, LaFleur has never lost a game in the month of December, so something to be on the lookout for.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he's 16-0.
I heard about that.
Number 8, I got Jacksonville. I can't drop them. They're my team.
Number
7, I have Miami. Number 6, I have Kansas City. 5, I have Detroit. 4, I have the Cowboys. 3, I have the Eagles. 2, I have the Ravens. And 1, I have the 49ers.
Oh, okay. Wait, did you say 2 you still have the Eagles?
No, 2, I have the Ravens. 3, I have the Eagles at 3.
Okay.
So my only question is, you have the Colts and what was it? The Colts and the Packers above the Texans and the Broncos.
I do. And I'm gonna stand by it because it's my power ranking. It's like, I don't really have a good reason. I don't really have a good reason to put them in either over either team. I mean, again, the only thing is with my number 10 spot, I always cycle it through the team that I think is just kind of under the radar. But 9, I would put the Packers over both of those teams though. Currently.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I struggled with those two. They just seem so similar. I really wanted to put the Packers on my list, but couldn't do it.
Okay.
All right. So you guys are gonna flame me for my 10 spot, and that's okay. You can do it, but I feel strong about this. At number 10, I have the Seattle Seahawks.
Bro, what are you doing?
Jesus
Come on.
Christ. What
I
happens when
only
what happens when they lose this week?
then I'll
They're
drop
still
them
gonna be
off.
10.
Okay, but to be fair, I was looking at the 6-6 teams, and I'm like, I just think they're kind of the best 6-6 team, and I think they're better than the Browns and the Colts. So, and the Browns and the Colts aren't on my list. So that's kind of my logic there. At number 9, I have the Green Bay Packers. Actually,
Yeah,
I put them
there
at
you
9. 8, I have the Houston Texans. At
Mhm.
7, the Detroit Lions. 6, Kansas City Chiefs. 5, the Dolphins, Miami Dolphins. So at 4, that's where I put my Philadelphia Eagles at. I think them getting blown out, yeah, definitely drop them. Makes them deserving of dropping further. 3, I have the boys. You're welcome, K-Dog. I think I'm the high, or CDubs had him at 3 too, right?
Yeah, so
No,
does
I had
Coop.
them at 4.
Oh, you
I
had 4.
almost put
Okay,
him
I
at
think
3 though.
I have him at
Almost
the
put him at 3.
highest then out of everybody. I think this is I'm kind of ranking him preemptively because I think they're going to beat the Eagles. So that's why I have him over the Eagles personally.
Yeah, that's fair.
2, I have the Ravens, and 1. Unfortunately, I feel obligated to put the Niners here just because they are God tier right now. They're going God mode. Yeah, so let us know what you guys think about who has the best list, who has the hottest position. I don't know what's hotter, the Colts or the Hawks at 10. Probably the Hawks, but just given that the Colts are 7-5. Okay, we'll just go in reverse order here since I'm already talking for our smoking hot take of the week. So mine, I alluded, was talking about the Steelers and Patriots. So in this game, I'm calling for 0 offensive touchdowns. Only defensive plays will earn points this game. So
I love
either
this.
a pick six, a safety, a like I guess a blocked kick.
Yeah.
So yeah, fumble return. So that's my my Shmokin hot take.
So is that what happened with the Chargers game last week, or was it two
No, it was
field
2
goals, or
field
was
goals.
it a touchdown? It was
I'm
two
pretty sure it
field
was 2
goals.
field goals,
It
right?
was just 2 field goals. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So even worse than that.
Wow.
All right, CDubs, lay it on us.
So my
Yeah, go ahead.
smoking hot take. So I've always gone for player stats, and I've always swung and missed horribly. So I'm not going to do that this week. I'm
I
going
feel you.
to stay away from the player stats. Instead, I'm going to do an if this happens, this will happen. My smoking hot take is if the Buffalo Bills lose to Kansas City, Sean McDermott will be fired next week as their head coach.
Whoa. That's wild.
I think
That's
they've had
bold.
enough of him. I think if they miss the playoffs, he's gone at the end of the year anyways. And if they lose this game, they're 6-7 on the outside looking in with tough games remaining. So I think
and a lot of
I think they pull the
competition.
plug. If he's had, like I said earlier, they've had multiple chances at the Chiefs and they just can't seem to get it done. So my call is he's going to get fired next week if they lose.
Damn, I love that. That's a fun one. That's creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, K-Dog.
Mine truly is the opposite direction. I've got the Bills and Chiefs. I'm kind of going back to that playoff game we all remember. One of the best games we've ever seen. The Bills and
Yeah.
Chiefs in the divisional round. I'm kind of going along with that storyline. I think this is another overtime game. I see this game being very close. And my smoking hot take is not only that it goes to overtime, but the Bills, they somehow do find a way to get the ball last, and Josh Allen scores a touchdown to win the game.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so you're predicting Josh Allen's first ever overtime victory.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's
that
never
would be
won.
true.
Wow. How many has he
I
played?
love that. 6.
How many? Wow. Yeah, I guess I am.
Hell yeah.
You're
that
predicting for him.
That makes it even hotter.
You should predict for him to win the coin toss. I feel like they never win the coin toss against the Chiefs. That's the true. That's the true smoking hot take there.
Yeah, we can have
I love that
one.
though. That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. So quite the wide variety of hot takes. And what's Coop's? Did Coop give us one?
Oh, did he? Hold on.
I thought he did. Hold on. Pause.
Oh yeah, he
So-
did. He did. But he changed the color so we wouldn't see it. The Browns. Who were the Browns playing this week?
The Jaguars.
The
The
Jags. Yeah.
Jaguars. He says the Browns will get 2 pick sixes in that game.
Dang.
Wow. Well, how could he fade our Lord and Savior C.J. Beathard like that? That's just
I don't know.
disrespectful, man. Come
Can't
on.
do that to a man with an ass tat. He was not going to throw 2 pick sixes. That's not going to happen. Let's be real.
That's funny. That's funny.
Coops is memeing over there. All right. Well, fellas, any last words before we sign off for the day? Before we're done?
No,
Go
I
Browning,
got
that's
nothing.
all I got. Yeah,
Go
go Joe
Browning.
Browning. Keep stunning on him. Play well.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll earn that bag. Get a good, nice paycheck as another backup QB somewhere else.
Oh yeah, he might have done that last night. You know. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks if you made it this far. Thank you for hanging on and listening in. And thank you to Lions Fan again for joining and giving us the Lions breakdown. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and we'll see you next week. And thank you for CDubs. Thank you to CDubs for joining in for this week.
Of course.
And look forward to the
Anytime.
locks dropping on Friday.
6 straight winning weeks, baby. We're gonna make it 7.
Let's go. Woo! All right. Thank you all, and make sure to stay smoking. Stay smoking.